I'm Daryl Lane, the man with the plan.
And I'm Noah Taluki.
And you're listening to the fourth ever episode of What's Your Take? This past Sunday, Colin Kaepernick filed grievance against the NFL on the grounds that league owners were colluding against him, thus prohibiting him from playing in the league. So Noah, does Colin Kaepernick have any chance of beating the NFL in court?
Well, Daryl, I don't think he has any chance of beating the NFL in court because when you think about it, the NFL has a lot of power, right? And but I don't think that they're going to be able to prove any evidence against him in that court, and Kaepernick will prevail, and we'll see the rest of the season unfold.
So you think he's going to lose?
Yes, he's going to lose. Yes.
But all you need is two people to mess up.
Well,
if there's an email, a comment, something, you can't be careful. It's already happened. He's already filed. Something happened. Somebody sent a text or something they didn't mean to send. We all know. I mean, they're blackballing him.
Yes.
Now it depends. Have they said it in privately, or have they actually expressed it to each other? Have they texted? Has one owner texted to another owner? Has there been emails? Maybe. I'm saying all it takes is two fools to ruin it for everyone.
Mm-hmm. But I just think at this point it's not going to happen.
No, not going to happen. But at least there's a chance.
Well, last week the New York Giants finally won their first game of the season, beating the Denver Broncos in convincing fashion, 23-10. But the Giants did it without star wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr., who's out for the season with an ankle injury. That ruined my fantasy lineup. No, I got some better players. But so Daryl, is Odell Beckham overrated or not?
Yes, Odell Beckham is overrated. I'm personally not a big fan of the wide receiver. Calvin Johnson, not a big fan. Andre Johnson, when he was in the league, not a big fan. Antonio Brown, not a big fan. I think they're divas. They complain when they don't get the ball, like me. They're all about their brand. They get mad when the quarterback doesn't throw them the ball, and the quarterback has to force feed them the ball, and then the quarterback throws a pick six, then it goes the other way, and they're still complaining, why didn't I get the ball? Like T.O., you give me the ball. No. It creates a distraction.
Well, it's not like that with every receiver, though. There's only a handful of receivers who I think are truly divas. And, if you look historically, you have Chad Johnson, right? At the end zone celebrations and T.O. with his end zone celebrations. T.O. hasn't even gotten into the Hall of Fame yet, I think, because he's had some differences with the media. And the media are the people who votes for the Hall of Fame. So, but when you think of, in Odell's case, yes, he had the incident with kicking the net last year and throwing his helmet in there and then, forgiving the net or whatever he was doing. And I know there was a video of him crying on the sidelines or something like that. But
he did a touchdown celebration of him peeing like a fire hydrant for his, like.
Yeah, that was a little weird. That was a little weird. But I think Odell is very, very talented. I mean, Daryl, can you make that one-handed catch like he did?
I don't care if he makes a one-handed catch. I care about winning games. You know what wins games? Quarterback, offensive line,
so
defensive line, not wide receivers.
So the Giants.
You know what? I'll tell you. The quarterback makes the wide receiver. It's not the other way around. The quarterback makes the wide receiver.
That's debatable.
What do you mean debate?
Calvin Johnson, 2010, played with three quarterbacks. He had over 1,200 yards and 12 touchdowns.
And why would you pay for give Calvin Johnson all that money? You know what happens when you give receivers a bunch of money? You don't win. It doesn't happen because you can't fill other parts of your roster.
Not all the time.
Name a receiver that's carried their team to a championship.
Well, Calvin would have.
No,
I think. I think Calvin would have.
No.
Antonio Brown?
Detroit's not even close.
Could be in the future.
They keep getting destroyed by the Patriots. They can't.
Okay.
Wide receivers do not win in this league. You know what wins? I'm going to say it again. Offensive line, defensive line, quarterback.
Yes, it is one in the trenches. I agree with that. But you don't think wide receivers plays a key role in games? Catching the ball? That yak yards after the catch like Golden Tate is the best.
Would you rather have a middle linebacker who can be the leader of your defense or a wide receiver? You can find a good slot receiver anywhere. It's like running backs. There's dimes and dozens of these guys.
I personally like offense better, Daryl. I like the wide receiver. I like the tight end too, but
and that's why you are not a general manager of an NFL team. The NBA tipped off this past Tuesday with the defending Eastern Conference champions, Cleveland Cavaliers, beating the Boston Celtics 102-99, and the Houston Rockets beating the defending NBA champions, Golden State Warriors 122-121. So no, who is your pick to win the NBA championship this year?
Well, Dare, I'd pick my Pistons, but no, they're actually they're not really my Pistons because I'm not the biggest Piston fan, but they're going nowhere this year. So I'm going with the Cleveland Cavaliers, led by LeBron James, Kevin Love, Isaiah Thomas once he gets back. Even look at even Derrick Rose and who's the other guy out there? Dwayne Wade. Yeah. So I think they're loaded this year. You know, it doesn't matter if these guys are old,
more loaded
past their
than
prime. I think this new start, this fresh start in Cleveland with these already proven players, which they are proven as well, but just sort of get them back on track. And I feel like that they can really have a legit shot because when you think about it, Golden State, it's so hard to repeat in any league, in NBA, NHL, NFL, MLB, anything. It's so hard to repeat. I don't see the Golden State Warriors. I don't see them repeating this year.
Wait, why not? Wait, they're an infinitely better team than Cleveland.
Just because, they have that mindset already that, okay, I'm in the, we want our championship. Let's relax a little bit. Let's take our foot off the gas. No, I've seen that with some teams, and it's just, you already know what they're going to do.
It didn't happen to the Chicago Bulls in the 90s.
Okay, well, that's a different story.
Why is it a different story?
Still, it hasn't. I don't think a team has repeated since the Lakers,
yeah,
right?
the Lakers and Miami Heat. It didn't happen to LeBron James, Miami Heat. Why didn't it happen?
I just think that.
You think Steph Curry's gonna be like, oh no, I don't want to win any more rings?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there's teams that because these days it's all about super teams, right? LeBron back then. With the Heat, they were really the only super team out there.
The Cleveland Cavaliers are not a super team.
I think they're a super team.
How are they a super team?
Look at all these MVPs that they have on the team.
4 of the 5 best players on the court are on the Golden State Warriors. True or false?
Debatable.
Who
I think LeBron is better than
I said 4 of the 5 best players on the court are on Golden State.
On the court?
Yes.
If they're squaring
They have
off
4 of the 5 best players in the series.
I would say Draymond Green is good. I would say that Steph Curry has a good shot as well. Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant, right?
The Golden State Warriors have 2 top 5 players in the NBA. They have 4. I can make an argument. 4 top 15 players. How is Cleveland beating them?
They just have more veteran experience.
What do you mean more veteran experience? They brought back their whole team, and they added everybody except for Nick. Andre Iguodala, the Finals MVP, he doesn't even start.
Isaiah Thomas is going to have a burning desire to win a championship.
Okay, Isaiah Thomas is 5'9", and when Klay Thompson was checking Kyrie last year, Klay Thompson shut down Kyrie. What do you think Klay Thompson's going to do to a 5'9" Isaiah Thomas that has hip arthritis? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, he's going to heal from the hip arthritis.
So you think Isaiah Thompson scored Klay Thompson when Kyrie Irving couldn't do that?
I think Isaiah is the best small man in the league.
I don't care if he's the best small man. Klay Thompson's going to shut him down. They're going to rain through. Kevin Durant gave LeBron James the business in the finals.
How come Golden State lost to the Cavs 2 years ago?
What do you mean they lost? Because Draymond Green got hurt, Andrew Bogut got hurt, and then Andre Iguodala's back went out. That's why they lost, and they didn't have Kevin Durant. That makes a pretty big difference.
I don't know. It's up in the air, Daryl.
It's up in the air. 4 games to 1's up in the air.
It's not going to be that close. I think it'll be Warriors, Cavs again, but Cavs will prevail in 7. How about that? But with the NBA season underway, notable stars make their marks in the first game of the year, such as Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, James Harden. And so, Daryl, who is your pick to win the NBA MVP this season?
Kawhi Leonard.
Ooh, a sizzler flying under the radar.
Kawhi Leonard's a bad man. He's not really flying under the radar. Kawhi Leonard can play. Kawhi Leonard's the best defender in the NBA. It's not really even close.
Okay.
His mid-range game's insane. He's the star of the San Antonio Spurs. Mm-hmm. See, I think San Antonio Spurs are going to have high 50s, low 60s this year. Probably 58 to 60 wins. They're going to be somewhere in that.
Okay.
Kawhi Leonard's a player. And he's going to win the MVP this year.
Well, I remember last year, a lot of people thought Kevin Durant would win the MVP. Remember that? Then out of nowhere, Russell Westbrook, since he basically took over his whole team, he ended up winning the the MVP. So maybe you're right. Maybe it's a player that's obviously the best player on the team. He doesn't have like a sidekick. You know what I mean? Now James Harden, he came in second. He has a sidekick in Chris Paul now. So Chris Paul is going to get more of the scoring. He's going to get more of the pie. You have a good case with Kawhi Leonard because I think he's above and beyond everybody on that team. And he doesn't really have like a true sidekick. So that's Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard's a good pick. Could we see LeBron come back and win it? He's always up there in the top 5. Could we see Kevin Durant?
Wait, so who do you have winning the MVP?
It's up in the air, Daryl.
You tap dance better than the late Gregory Hines.
Tap dance? I'm not good at tap dancing.
I know. I can tell your feet are.
Who
do you have winning the MVP? Who do you have winning the MVP?
All right, here we go. Let's go with. You know what? The Cavs players. They've all had their MVPs. You know what? Let's have a little sizzler. Let's go Kevin Durant. How about that? You praised him in the last segment.
Yeah. Okay, Kevin Durant.
Yeah. Let's go. He's going to step up on his second year with the Warriors. He's going to be the best player on the team.
Okay, I can go with that, Noah. Maybe, Noah, you're learning a little something. The New York Yankees have been the Cinderella story of this postseason, beating the 102-win Cleveland Indians in the ALDS 3-2, and winning 3 straight games against the 101-win Houston Astros in the ALCS, with a chance to clinch a World Series berth on Friday. So, Noah, are the Yankees back?
You know, Daryl, right now I'm reading Mariano Rivera's, the famous closer's book right now. And you know what? I'm reading this, and he's talking about the Yankees in the mid and late 90s, early 2000s, sort of those glory years. Man, those guys were scrappy. They were coming back after so many deficits. They were down 2-0. They'd win 4-2. You know what I mean? So they were coming back. And you know what? I think that's the Yankee mentality, is to come back when you're down and really keep grinding. And that's what these Yankees are doing right now. And the Yankees are staying really competitive even while they're building the farm system. And I think that's what teams in the MLB have to do these days. And so, but are they going to win the ALCS? No. I think Justin Verlander tomorrow night is going to shut down the Yankees offense. They have not done as well on the road as they have at home, that small ballpark where you get all those home runs. You know, those home runs would be doubles in most ballparks, but since that fence is so in, you get home runs. So I feel that the Astros are going to win the series. They got to win 2 straight. They're both at home, both have that crowd. The whole Houston Hurricane, sort of, you know, the remnants of that, you know, sort of bringing the community together. I think that they're really going to make a run to the World Series here.
I don't think I've given you enough credit. You are a great tap dancer because you didn't answer the question.
What was that? Are the Yankees back?
You went from what was going on in Houston to Houston's going to go to the World Series.
I wanted to get that out there.
You had to get that out there?
Yes.
How did things work for Kluber?
That didn't go well.
Yeah, it didn't go well.
He's not a good postseason pitcher. Verlander is, so that's why he'll shut down the Yankees. And then the Astros are winning Game 7.
Yes, the Yankees are back. To truly answer the question.
Okay.
Young team, right. Gary Sanchez, Aaron Judge, Didi Gregorius, CeCe Sabathia. Love their team.
He's not young.
No, he's not young. But I'm saying they have a nice young team. They have other veterans. They have Tanaka. I love their team. Young bullpen, they have stars.
Okay.
And they're only going to keep getting better. They beat the Cleveland Indians. They won 3 straight games against the Astros. And they could beat these Astros and go to the World Series. And all it can go is up from here. Yes, the New York Yankees are back. To truly answer the question.
He's a Buffalo guy, so he's got to be cheering for those Yankees. But in the news of college football, Jim Harbaugh, current Michigan Wolverines head football coach, being overrated. This is a bunch of this talk now about him being overrated as he lost to the Michigan State Spartans 2 weeks ago. You know, we haven't done our show in 2 weeks, so that's why we're bringing this up. But Daryl, is Jim Harbaugh really overrated?
Define overrated. Is he the best coach in college football? No, but nobody's saying that. Is he a top 5 coach? Is he a top 10 coach? Yes. So no, he's not overrated.
So I'm gonna have to tell you something. He's 1-4 against his rivals. One win against a 3-9 Michigan State team last year. Never beat Ohio State, and 2 losses to Michigan State. I see this. He has the same exact record at this point of the season as Brady Hoke did. You know how Brady Hoke was.
So he's not a top 10 coach in college football?
In college football, he might be. He can't. What has he won?
So he's not a top 10 coach in college football?
Maybe I might put him at number 10, but I put Mark D'Antonio ahead of him.
Why are you talking about Mark D'Antonio? There's nothing to do with Mark D'Antonio.
Because they lost. Michigan State always seems to find a way to beat Michigan, even with Harbaugh at the helm. And Urban Meyer beats Michigan.
Let me tell you.
He can't beat his rivals. That's why he's overrated.
How's he over? But nobody's saying he's the best coach in the game. Everybody's saying he's like a top 5, top 10 coach. That's what he is. So he's doing what he is. So how's he overrated?
Because he can't win when it matters. Well, how many Big Ten championships has he gone to? No.
It's only been 3 years.
I don't see this. Look at the offense. Look at how the offense is performing. The offense is really bad.
Nick Saban didn't win any SEC championships his first 3 years. So was Nick Saban overrated?
At this point, no, but maybe back then remember back then he had a little bit of a big head because he came from LSU, won that championship, then went to the NFL to try to get paid. Then he came back to college football because he was sort of a bust in the NFL.
Bob Stoops didn't win the big games, and Bob Stoops is one of the greatest college football coaches ever.
You think Bob Stoops?
Yes, he's one of the greatest college football coaches ever.
Now they got who? Lincoln Riley.
If Jim Harbaugh went to Alabama, what do you think would happen?
See, nobody's bringing this up.
I'm asking you. I'm bringing it up.
He might get more recruits than.
I'm not talking about recruits. How would he be winning championships if he went to Alabama?
Depends. If you know what, Daryl, if we saw him at Alabama, we would truly see if he's a good coach or not. Because if
That's
they're
not the question.
If they're losing, then
okay. If he goes to Alabama, would they win championships? Yes or no?
Depends on his coaching.
If he goes
in college football, I think it's all.
He's a good coach. We've already established this. They get good recruits. Would he win a championship in Alabama? You're not answering the question. Would he win a championship in Alabama?
I mean, Saban has that mantra.
Would Jim Harbaugh win a championship?
Would Jim Harbaugh be able to step into that culture right away and be received by the fans and the alumni?
I'm not asking you that question.
No, I'm trying to lead up to it.
You're answering my question with a question.
I don't
He turned Stanford into a perennial power.
He didn't win a. I don't think he ever won a Rose Bowl at Stanford or anything.
Oh, okay. They were 12-1 his last year there. He went to Stanford when you don't get great recruits because those guys there, they actually have to play school. Also in the NFL, he turned Alex Smith into a B quarterback, a pretty good quarterback, and Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick's out the league now after Jim Harbaugh left.
He hasn't turned.
He brought the San Francisco 49ers to 3 straight NFC Championship games, and before he got there, they were 6-10.
I don't see Wilton Spade or John O'Corn being some big quarterback in college football. Where's the quarterback coach there?
I'm just telling you his track record. They're winning games. They're losing to other people that are better. What do you want from him? You want him to beat Ohio State?
I don't think he'd be winning championships at Alabama.
You want him to beat Ohio State?
Yes.
Nobody in that conference is beating Ohio State.
Ever?
Ohio State has the best roster. Nobody's beating Ohio State.
But he's hired. Every Michigan coach is hired partially to beat Ohio State. That's their job. Their season is a fail unless they beat Ohio State. It's been like that for decades.
Well, you know, I'll say this. That's stupid.
Me being from Michigan,
I
know
stupid.
this.
That's stupid and immature. But if he beat Florida this year, Florida's a better program than Michigan State. Yes, Florida's a better program than Michigan State. At this point. No, historically, they're a better program than Michigan State. They're a better program than Michigan State. You're right, because these games happen in college football. You're playing with 18 to 22-year-old kids. It happens.
Florida gets the better recruits. Michigan State has less to work with.
So, listen, if Jim Harbaugh, he just isn't beating Ohio State. And yeah, he lost to Michigan State. Michigan State's not winning the Big Ten.
So then if Michigan State's so bad, how come they're not winning?
Because they're not winning. They haven't won the Big Ten.
Now, how come Michigan hasn't beaten Michigan State?
They lost one game, and it was a close game. It could have gone either or. That has
two games, actually.
That has not. I'm talking about this year. Either or, it could have gone either way. You can't just blame Harbaugh.
If Michigan does not go to the Big Ten championship this year, I don't think.
Big Ten champion.
No.
They're not better than Ohio State.
Well, you have to be better than Ohio State.
How are they? Nobody else is better.
Then he would be a top 5 coach if he was better than Ohio State.
He'd be a top 5 coach if he was better than Ohio State.
He would have to be.
Mark D'Antonio's not better than Ohio State. Ohio State's superior. You know what, Michigan? Tell you the truth. I'll tell you the truth. Michigan is overrated. Michigan is not as special as you think it is.
I agree.
Michigan isn't some blue blood you go to and you win championships. It's not.
They're a team of the past. I agree with that.
And who wants to live in Michigan? That's another thing. You don't want to know what?
I do.
Then you're in the minority on that. You want to know why USC gets big recruits. Alabama gets big recruits.
Nice weather, too.
Nice weather. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to be in Michigan. And he's there because he's a Michigan man. How about he goes to Alabama and this man starts winning rings in Alabama? How about that? You all in Michigan, you want to hate on him. How about he goes to Alabama and he starts winning championships and leave Michigan what they've had, which has been nothing in the last 14, 15 years?
We'll see, Daryl. We will have to see.
JCU football lost 27-20, double overtime, heartbreaker to the Ohio Northern Polar Bears last Saturday to put their season record at 3-3. So, Noah, what went wrong for the Blue Streaks this year since they were a team that was one game away from being in the national championship?
You know what, Daryl? They beat up on, sort of the weaker opponents in their league, like Wilmington and Marietta, but the OAC is loaded with teams this year, such as, like Ohio Northern and Heidelberg and Mount Union. And Mount Union's just blowing everybody out. So I think it was just the year. I think John Carroll's still a very good team. They cannot make the playoffs anymore. My last prediction that they were going to make it is out the window now. But I think they still have a very talented team. And I still think that they have very good coaching. It's just this year, the OAC was a little more loaded than expected. And John Carroll just couldn't get over that hump. But I feel like next year and the years to come, John Carroll could be really contending for a national championship.
I think a lot of things went wrong. They had a coaching change. Mm-hmm. They haven't been...
Coach Fernati, a Michigan man from Harbaugh's staff.
Yeah, they're 3-3 now with him at coach. But let's... Their offense has been putrid. It's pretty bad. And their passing offense is atrocious. They don't run the ball like they used to. I don't know why. I mean, they have Kakura, they have Golfin and all of them. I don't know why they don't run the ball. That baffles me in and itself. Their secondary, oh my gosh, they get torched all the time. They give up big plays.
They lost a lot of guys on the defense.
They give up big plays. And you would think Anthony Maglin, their quarterback, would take that second step, but it just hasn't seemed that way. They are...
He'll have a year to develop.
I thought he was going to have a year to develop last year.
Is he a sophomore right now?
Yes, he's a sophomore.
Redshirt sophomore. He's got 2 more years left. He'll be good.
Well, you know what really went wrong for this team? They're just not very good. That's the issue. They're just not very good.
They're not over the... I think they're still a good team. They're just not
They're okay.
elite
They're
yet.
okay. They're not very good. They just don't have the talent. And the coach is different. And the team has a different mentality. And you can't necessarily get that mentality back, I don't think, either.
Daryl, we're gonna have to watch out next year because I think that blue streak train is gonna be coming right through, and we're gonna see them go to the playoffs and win this OAC next year.
And beat Mount?
I think so. A year under Coach Fernati, I think he'll get them going.
You do?
Yes, I do.
You are such a Michigan homer.
And
that's it for What's Your Take?